Chit Chat, Kit Kats. Well, I just had something really odd happen. Missy May had really, really long toenails. They were, cutting me, and I'm thinking, oh, next time I go with Mr. Max, I'll have them cut her toenails. I looked, and her toenails are all cut. Now, how did that happen? I didn't cut them. There's been no one here that could cut them. And, but they're all perfect now. It's like she's had a manicure. What happened, Mimi? How did that happen? I don't know what happened, but I'm really happy that it did, because she had really long nails that were just, really scratching me. And today they're like cut perfectly. Even her dew claws that were so long are pretty well cut, except for this one. This one is still pretty long, but the other one is trimmed down. So I don't know what happened, but I'm really happy that they are. Yeah, that's really good, Missy Mamie. What happened to your claws? Huh? So that was my miracle today. Don't stand on your brother, May. Don't be careful. Don't stand on your brother. Come here, Max. Sissy standing on you. Is she? Yeah. It's time to get him groomed again before I go. Yeah. I think so. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. It's the oddest thing. Her nails were like really long, and I was going, oh my goodness, I need to get them clipped. And then today, I just look, because it's not hurting my leg. She was standing on here and hurting, and I just looked at it, and her nails are short now. So I don't know what happened. But I'm really happy that they are, because it was getting pretty radical. Yeah, what do you have to say about that, Mr. Max? Yeah. Say, Mama trimmed my hair before, and I had all rat bite hair. See, now it's growing out, and it needs to be trimmed again. Yeah. I think I'll take you to the groomer. Yeah. So anyway, that was what was happening today. I've been kind of watching some of these documentaries where these guys are going in China and trying to find these hermits and talking to them. Now, the best movie is, what is it called, In the Clouds? Or White Cloud? What is the name of that? Let's see if I can find it. Amongst White Clouds. It's from 2005, and that one is really good. Now, some of those monks in that one, very deep, very, very deep practitioners. They have just what they're speaking, and you can tell that, some of them are very, very deep. So that's about the best one I've found amongst white clouds. But the one thing about, becoming a hermit monk, there's only one drawback with that, and that is that one isolates themselves. And so, if you isolate yourself, and part of the practice is daily life, you want to get to realization and you want to get to liberation so you can be anywhere. Not that you have to hide out in a cave or a mountain. Now, the one advantage of doing that, there is an advantage that you have to face yourself when you don't have a lot of other distractions, okay? So there is some advantage to it, but then there's also some drawback to it as well. And on the path that I've taught, that I teach, part of the practice in staying grounded and centered is doing it during your daily life, okay? So many people want to run away and they want to go to a ashram or something and just sit and meditate and do nothing, okay? But that's not realistic, Part of your practice should be doing it during daily life. Doing, active meditation, being able to enter that stillness no matter what one is doing. It's not about just sitting with closed eyes in meditation. You should be able to go into stillness and meditative states in action, okay? So that's the philosophy and the things that are taught here. Now, on my journey, I didn't sit in an ashram. Yes, I was in India, but no, I generally did not stay in the ashrams because they were very political, is what I found. So I did my practices wherever I went, and I went from South India to Dharamsala, up to Darjeeling, and everywhere in between, and did my practices on the trains, and did my practices in huts by the Ganges, and did the practices if I was in a hotel. It didn't matter, there was no hiding away to a pre-planned ashram and sitting there and doing that. Mine was all my practice was done every day, no matter where I was at, no matter what I was doing. Mr. Max, you are so funny. He's sitting there staring at me. And when I was in India, Miss Radhe went with me, my Chinese crested. She has bathed in the Ganges. She was up in Darjeeling. She broke her leg up in Darjeeling and had to have it set. Went to a human hospital and they set her leg for me. She had x-rays at the hospital there. And so she traveled with me to India. Isn't that right, Mr. Max? He says, I don't know. I wasn't here then. So anyway, the travels. And, what's so funny is you get to the end of the path and you travel all over the world to try to find God, find enlightenment, find truth, and you couldn't have gotten away from it if you tried. So it's one of those things. You go all across, all across the world to do it, and then find out in the end it was always present, and you couldn't have gotten away from it if you tried. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to leave this here. And is there a reason that you're staring at me, Mr. Max? He does this all day. If I'm driving in the car, he'll sit in the doggy seat and he'll just sit here like this staring at me. He said, but I like to be held. He likes to be held like a baby. He says, I just like being held like a baby and being loved on. Yeah, he loves that. Yeah. You're giving kisses? Yeah, giving kisses. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Max. Maymay says, what about me? I like to be held too. She gives nose kisses. Isn't that right, Maymay? Yeah, nose kiss. Nose to nose. I keep saying she's practicing to be an Eskimo in her next life because that's what she does, nose to nose. She always puts her nose on your nose. You're a funny girl, Missy Maymay. So anyway, you know, as you can see, she's adopted really well. She's a rescue, and I've had her now for, what is it, maybe a year and a half? Maybe I've had her about a year and a half. Isn't that right, May? Yes. Yeah, it's a good girl. Yeah. I call her the boom boom girl. You boom boom girl? Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to leave this here. It's about time for me to go take my bath and relax. And about time to get these two munchkins to bed. Yep. They know when it's time, and if I don't get them in bed in time, they start looking at me going, saying, it's time. What are you doing, May? You going to push me now? You going to push me? You are so silly. On that note, I'm going to leave this here and we'll see you online. Oh, tomorrow is Hodiga Lee time. Lena will be there, so we will be starting the hour later at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. What is it? 7 p.m. Eastern Time and 4 p.m. West Coast Time. I think I've got that right. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you online.